Welcome to Windy Hollow Garage.
If you live somewhere where you get snow like this, you'll want to stay tuned to this episode where we see if fluid film can protect your car from old man winter. Because if you don't, your floor pans could end up like the floor pans on our old Dodge Dart.
We all know Toyotas are reliable cars, but when it comes to rust protection, not so much.
Mom's going to change her own oil today, and all you need to do this in a RAV4 is just a 14mm socket, and then the special tool for the oil filter, because Toyotas use the, they don't use the built-in filter. It's different. Is it set to off mode?
It's set to off. That's what I just checked. I had to have Sean loosen the bolt for me.
Shop supervisor, hard at work as always, making sure we don't mess up anything while we're down here under the RAV4.
So you can see Toyota is a little different on their oil filters. It's not a typical spin-on filter like Dodge, Chevy, Ford use. They use a little housing that has a canister inside of it, and you have to use this fancy little tool to get it off of there. So the first thing you want to do is take off the bottom cap there. Your Hawk strength is disappointing me today.
I know.
Yeah, so you can see Toyota uses the little fancy pop-in filters, which are pretty inexpensive, but if you're used to doing Dodge, Ford, and Chevys, it takes a little bit of getting used to. So we'll go over to the bench. I like to make sure the housing is wiped out really well to get all that nasty old oil out of it, and then we will
Should I go ahead and put this back in?
put a new filter in. Nope, we're gonna clean everything up first.
Okay.
So we're gonna go clean everything. So these Toyota filters, it does make it nice because you don't have to cut the filters open to see what's going on with the motor. You can just kind of flip it around and see. You can see this motor is clean as can be. You see that oil is still clean as can be too. So this thing has 80,000 miles on it. And still, we normally use Costco's finest signature oil, but on this change we're actually going to use Mobil 1 just because I have it laying around. Check out Project Farm. He tests all the oil. He tests out all the oil, and the Kirkland's oil tested out to be almost as good as, it was like 99.9% as good as the Mobil 1. Alright, and there's the inside of the filter. It's just got a little spring loaded, so I'll just wipe it out real good and then be ready to reassemble. So the Toyota filter kit comes with new O-rings for your, goes in the bottom right here, and then also goes right here. So if yours are worn, you can go ahead and replace your O-rings. I don't replace them every time, but if they look worn, I will replace them. And then this is what your Toyota filter looks like. Now, last time I used a Wix filter, so you can see that's a good comparison for anyone interested in comparing the Wix versus the Toyota. You can see the Wix actually does look to be a little bit sturdier. If I was to have a preference, I would say the Wix would be my preference because it's a little more heavily built where it's molded together. The Toyota's definitely lighter, but these are the OEM ones. You can get these off Amazon for, I think they're like $4 or $6. They're really inexpensive, and you can get these at Napa pretty inexpensively as well. The Wix ones, if you have a hookup at the Napa, you can get them really inexpensively. All right, so she's got it wiped out. So we'll pop the filter in here. You can see it just pops in super easy. You can see it's spring loaded, so it just sits in here like that. I like to take a little bit of oil and we'll pre-fill this before we screw it onto the car, just to prevent dry starts. I know that wasn't in the Toyota manual, but that's what I do with every car that I ever change oil in. And screw the cap back in. And this is the little drain thing that just pops in. You can pop it in right there. And it's supposed to make less of a mess when you change the oil. Honestly, I think it makes the same kind of mess when you're fighting with trying to get it in there. I don't really mess with it. Alright, we're going to go ahead and pre-fill that with oil and we'll pop it on the car. Alright, before we put the oil filter back on, she's got to clean the housing out, wipe it out real good. Alright, should just spin right on. We got just a little bit of oil in there, filtered it about halfway up just so it doesn't dry start. And see, it just threads on real easy. You don't tighten this Hulk strength, these just go down snug because they're plastic.
Exactly lined up where it was when I took it off.
She remembers where it was when she took it off. Alright, she's ready to put the drain plug back in. What's the number one rule of changing your oil?
Never forget the drain plug.
Because that's happened here before.
Not by me.
Not by us. But right after we got the new floors poured in our shop, somebody may have changed oil and forgot to put the drain plug in and dumped maybe 3 or 4 quarts of oil on the floor before we realized that it was going onto the floor. It just seasoned the floors a little bit. It's fine. So go ahead and pop that in, and you do not use, not like on all the TikTok videos, do not use an impact wrench on this. All right. This is how you fill the fluid film. It's kind of nasty. If somebody's come up with a better way, I'm willing to listen, but this is the best way that I've found. You just get an old paint stick and stick her in the hole.
Why don't you use a funnel, Sean?
Because it takes like 7 years if you use a funnel. Literally. I've tried. You'll be sitting there for a month. I could spray 3 cars in the time it would take to get the funnel to fill this. We're going to pop some of the body plugs out to do that. Just need one of these little handy dandy plastic tools. It's almost feeding time for the shop supervisor, so he's a little bit animated right now. So. It's actually, I think he's got another hour, but
He does.
he's extra. Chunk. You want to be sure to use a plastic one of these, because if you use a metal one, you will scratch the metal and then you'll have more rust. So you do not want to use, I saw guys using metal screwdrivers and stuff trying these out, and then you're just scratching the paint right off of it, and where do you think the rust is going to form the next time? It's going to form right in where you scratch that paint off. So use a plastic one of these so that you don't scratch your paint off. And you just pop right out like so. These are like I don't know. You can get a set of them for $20 on at Hobo Freight. We've got a bit of a
Cloud.
fluid film fog in here. I probably should have covered the other cars. So, note for next time. Make sure you cover your other cars if you do it in the shop. Oh well, I'm sure it'll wipe off. Alright, so before we fire this thing up, we'll just throw some oil in it. And can she pour it without making a big mess? Ooh, looks pretty professional.
I have poured oil in cars before. I just haven't changed the oil in this car before.
Is your first oil change?
On this car, yes.
Oh.
You've always done it previously.
Alright. Got her all filled up. You want to check it, make sure it's full?
Yep. It's a little overfull, but...
Oh. So, it's all fluid filmed. You can see, look at this. It's pretty much like brand new now. After, took about an hour and a half to get everything coated with the lanolin based fluid film. See, everything is all shiny. Ready for another amazing Ohio winter. But hopefully somebody finds this helpful. Let's get all it off the lift, get the body plugs back in, and we will be done for the night. The Dog Holler 3000 is all ready for winter. Anyway, I'm ready to take a shower. I have fluid film everywhere. Everything in my shop is unfortunately kind of got a fluid film sheen on it. So note to self, cover your other cars that might be in your shop when you do this. I should have covered the other cars. Now we're gonna have to, well, at least they're rust proofed, whatever. But hopefully, if you live in the Midwest or live in the Rust Belt and you're not using fluid film on your cars, you should really be thinking about it. I think there are a couple other products that I've seen out there on the interwebs, but so far we've been sticking with fluid film, and it seems to, as you can see, this thing's been through 4 or 5 winters now, and it still looks pretty much like brand new underneath. And if there's one thing Toyota is known for, it's rust resistance. No, definitely not. All right, we're hitting the showers. See you later. Yesterday we got the Dog Holler 3000 knocked out. We got Mama's RAV4 all fluid filmed, oil changed, and ceramic coated for the winter. So today we're going to go ahead and work on my Tundra. It's a 2021 Tundra, and it was fluid filmed last winter, so it has gone through 1 winter here in the Rust Belt. So we'll take a look underneath, and that'll be a good gauge to give everybody a look at, see what how fluid film holds up after 1 season. I took a quick cheat look underneath, and it's still looks like brand new, as it should. The Tundra is a little easier to do than the RAV4 because it's not as, in the RAV4 everything's kind of, it's like 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag. The Tundra is not like that. It's kind of, everything's kind of, there's room to work. Hopefully I don't hit my head 12 times like I did on the RAV4. I wish we had smell-o-vision. I would say the only downside to fluid film is the smell. Last night after finishing the RAV4, I just could not wait to get in the house. The wrap-up video was pretty quick on that because I just couldn't wait to get in the house and get that washed out of my beard and hair and stuff. It does give you baby soft hands. I will admit to that. The lanolin gets on your skin and hands, and boy, it just makes your skin so soft. You can wear gloves when you do it, but then everything gets super slippery and it's kind of hard to hold on to. But the lanolin just makes everything so soft. But it is not the most pleasant smell for some people. I know I don't really love the smell, and last night I think I had my pressure turned up a little too high on the gun when we were doing the RAV4, and I think that's why I had like a pretty thick mist in the shop. It was super awesome. Everything in the shop is now rust proofed for life. Love that. But I also got super rust proofed, and if you had smell-o-vision, you would just love the smell. It's so great. But today we'll go some bonus time. Everybody get a quick look under the Tundra to see what 1 year of fluid film on a brand new truck can do. I gotta say, it's just, if you're not using it, boy, and you live in Rust Belt, you really should think about it. You don't have to have a lift. As you can see, the Tundra just barely fits on the lift. But if it fits, it sits, so it does fit. But you could do this very easily just on some jack stands and crawling underneath. It really wouldn't be that big of a deal. They also sell, I use fluid film in the gallon jug. I think on the Tundra, or I'm sorry, on the RAV4 we used about, I had to refill the gun twice. I'll post a link to the gun and fluid film. I think it was actually on sale on Amazon last time I bought it. You can get fluid film from Amazon, and you can get the gun kit from eBay for, I think the gun's like $100 for the kit, and it's definitely worth every penny. So we will jump in here and get to work. All right, we're under the Tundra here. So this is after one winter in the Rust Belt here in Ohio. You can see, I don't see, the fluid film looks to be fairly washed off behind the rear wheels, but I don't see any rust. See, on the Tundra you can get in the frame channels really good, and there's a lot more room to work than the RAV4, which is just really crammed in there. See right there, everything is really coated well still. It actually still is, even on the body, it's still coated really well. You can still see it. You can still see it. It held up really well. Wow, that's good. Got a leaf in there. Anytime you have any leaves, make sure you pull those out, because that'll hold moisture and that'll start rust. Go ahead and get her recoated here and get her back on the road. Now ready for winter. As you can see, it has been coated front to back. So we got a nice good film on there. Popped all the body plugs out with a plastic trim remover. I even spray the running boards just to keep them keep any rust from attempting to form off of them. So it takes about an hour to do a car. I would say probably be a little bit longer if you were doing it not with a lift. You can also buy the fluid film in spray cans. The truck used about 2 refills, so about 2 full quarts, whereas the RAV4 used about 1.5. So there you go. You can see all protected. This is one winter. This is be the second winter on this truck. Alright, the truck is all done. We're going to get her off the lift here. My beard is all full of fluid film. My hair is full of fluid film. My hands are baby soft now. But what are you going to do? You got to get ready for winter somehow. It's actually hot. It's hot here today, so unbelievable. Hopefully you guys found this video interesting. And don't worry, we'll be working on cool stuff soon enough. Fluid film is sold in rattle cans and by the gallon, and you can get the spray applicator, so there's no excuse for not treating your car when you change your oil. The only pre-treatment we do before throwing down the fluid film is run the cars through the premium car wash to get the underspray. I didn't mention that in the videos. And then once you have the cars treated for the winter, obviously avoid the premium car wash, because you don't want to spray it right back off. I mean, it does cling, but there's no point in using the car wash to wash it right back off, right? So use some common sense.
So far, we've been really impressed by the fluid film protection and what it's done for the dog collar. 3,000, 10,000. I don't know what number it is anymore. We're not sponsored by anybody, but our own jobs at the Cubicle Farm. So please make sure to go and comment, roast him, like, subscribe, and share. If you have any other feedback or anything you want to see, definitely let us know. Bye!